The Golden State Warriors, standing at an impressive 1-2-4 record, have been a force of nature this season. Yet their recent puzzling loss to the San Antonio Spurs has sparked debates. Was it a stumble or a sign of cracks in the armor? Victor Wembanyama's fourth quarter brilliance left Golden State reeling. But let's be clear, this team isn't slowing down. They've turned every setback into fuel for their championship ambitions. And Kendrick Perkins, you might want to tune in for this because the Warriors are far from finished. This isn't just basketball, it's a statement. Let's dive into why this seemingly odd loss might actually sharpen Golden State's edge for the rest of the season.
It's been Steph doing the heavy lifting. It looked like it was going to be Brian. The Warriors, they've used a deep rotation to their advantage, right? Ranking 5th in offense, 4th in defense. Golden State is the only team to rank top 5 in both categories this season, and that has led them to an 11-3 start, the best record in the Western Conference. It's the 7th time they've started 11-3 or better in franchise history, all under Steve Kerr. And the previous 6 instances, you know this, Bob? They made the NBA Finals in every single one of them. So does this look like a finals team? You had an up-close and personal view for all of those years.
Well, the numbers don't lie, Malik. I mean, and you still got Steph Curry, who I think is the best face of a franchise in the history of sports. Think about, let that sink in for a minute. Who's a better face of a franchise ever on any sport? Pick a sport.
Michael Jordan was pretty good.
He was pretty good, but he's up there, right? He's up there. Curry's up there. He changed the game. That's the only guy you can say. But Perk, you were a little tough on the Warriors in 22.
I was, because
so now you're back on board. Okay, so now I'm not there.
Yeah.
How about if they win it, I keep? How about I get to keep this little piece of jewelry?
I got something better than that.
How about I get to keep?
I think that's a good bet.
I got
Good bet, right?
I got
Warriors
something.
win it.
I got something better than that.
You got it for all of us.
If the Golden State Warriors go on to win a championship, another championship, Steph Curry will officially enter the GOAT conversation with LeBron James and Michael Jordan. When you talk about the greatest shooter of all time, when you talk about a generational talent, a guy who has changed the game forever, when you talk about a guy who's already a top 10 great of all time, that is Steph Curry, right? You talk about his skill set, he's top 10 all time in that category as well. So when I think about what he has around him, I think about Kevin Durant leaving, Klay Thompson leaving. Now all of a sudden you go out and you take this group that you have right now and go complete the mission and win another championship. Yes, absolutely.
It's nice to see
he enters the GOAT conversation with Jordan and Bron.
I feel like you've been hard on Curry.
I have.
It's nice to see.
I don't mind giving out flowers.
I think
Thanksgiving.
what would be the reason that would be so impressive, I don't know about the GOAT or whatever, but he would have built the team 3 different times.
Yeah.
The team was built up, won the
I'd
championship.
say 4 if he does this.
Because you're
4 different teams.
Definitely 3 totally basically redone.
Yeah.
And that's something that, like, that's what LeBron has. That's one of LeBron's biggest feathers is he took 3 different teams, was finals MVP. But I know it's the same uniform, but it'll be 3 different teams.
I know, but Wendy, you said you don't care about the GOAT stuff, but what you just said sounds like GOAT type things.
Wendy, it's going to be hard for Wendy to say. Just like it's hard for you to say, but I'm happy that you're doing it. You're finally coming around on the Warriors and Curry. I know Wendy can't do it. He can't do it. We can't ask him to do it.
No, you're talking top 3 there.
It's too much for him.
The bar is very high.
I do know this, though. With the win tonight, Golden State will become the first team to advance out of the group stage play if they win and the Denver Nuggets. There's a combination.
I tell you what, I'm a believer in this Golden State team.
You guys look great. Let's see if Richard Jefferson and Ryan Ruocco have matching chains. Let's get it out.
In the game tonight.
It's not every day you see the Golden State Warriors caught off guard, but their 104-9-4 loss to the Spurs was exactly that, a shocker. Victor Wembanyama, coming off a knee injury, dropped 25 points, nearly half in the fourth quarter, while the Warriors went ice cold. Steph Curry scored only 3 points in that crucial stretch. A rough night? Yes. A sign of concern? Not quite. Here's why this team has already proven its resilience. Following that loss, the Warriors didn't sulk, they roared back. A crushing victory over Oklahoma City reminded everyone why they're contenders, holding Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to just 24 points on 35% shooting. Then they dismantled Boston's top-ranked defense, silencing the Celtics in a defensive masterclass. What's more impressive? The numbers. Golden State boasts the league's 3rd best offense and 5th best defense. And don't forget their bench unit averaging 59.6 points per game, the highest in NBA history, through 10 games. That depth keeps them fresh and deadly in late game situations. Kendrick Perkins might call this an overreaction, but let's face it, this is championship basketball. The Spurs loss was an anomaly, a blip, not a pattern. And if we're talking about patterns, no one has set more trends than the man redefining basketball itself, Steph Curry. The GOAT debate, it's a battlefield of opinions, and Steph Curry has charged right into it. With 4 championships, 2 MVPs, and the most three-pointers in NBA history, Curry isn't just in the conversation, he's reshaping it. Compare him to Magic Johnson, the so-called gold standard for point guards. Magic's 5 titles and 11.2 assists per game defined the position for decades. But here's the twist: Curry didn't just play the point guard role, he reinvented it. His gravity on the court, the way defenses are forced to guard him from 35 feet out, has revolutionized offensive strategies league-wide. Curry averages 23.9 points per game this season while shooting over 48% from the field. His efficiency is unheard of for someone who takes as many high-difficulty shots as he does. Meanwhile, critics, yes, including Kendrick Perkins, question his place among the all-time greats. But let's ask this: who else has forced the entire NBA to change how it plays? Even Curry's all-time starting 5 list featuring himself, MJ, LeBron, Duncan, and Shaq has stirred the pot. Excluding Magic Johnson wasn't just bold, it was a mic drop. Curry doesn't need validation. His legacy is already cemented. But legacy isn't just about personal accolades, it's also about team decisions. And the Warriors might be making a big one soon regarding Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga, a player with sky-high potential, is now at a crossroads. Once seen as a cornerstone for Golden State's future, his inconsistent play has put him on the trading block. Kuminga has shown flashes of brilliance, but his defensive lapses and tunnel vision on offense have frustrated Steve Kerr. The Warriors need consistency, especially as they aim to maximize what could be their last title window with Steph, Draymond, and Klay. Enter Pat Connaughton, a 2021 NBA champion with Milwaukee. His $28.3 million contract makes him a realistic trade target. Connaughton's 3-and-D game would bring immediate value to Golden State, filling the void left by DeAnthony Melton's injury. Imagine Connaughton spacing the floor alongside Curry and Wiggins, or providing key defensive stops late in games. Kendrick Perkins might see this as a gamble, but it's a calculated one. The Warriors have never been afraid to make bold moves, and this could be another stroke of genius. Speaking of genius, let's not overlook the historical impact Curry has had not just on his team, but on basketball itself. Steph Curry isn't just a player, he's a revolution. Before Curry, three-point shooting was a complementary skill. Now, it's the centerpiece of modern basketball. Let's look at the numbers. Since Curry entered the league, three-point attempts per game have nearly doubled, from 18 in 2009 to over 36 today. Teams build rosters around shooters, and young stars like Trae Young and Luka Doncic are walking proof of Curry's influence. Even Kendrick Perkins, a known skeptic of Curry's style, can't deny his impact. Curry's ability to stretch the floor has redefined what's possible on offense. Defenders are forced to guard him the moment he crosses half-court, a nightmare for opposing coaches. And let's not forget the cultural impact. Curry's signature moves, like the night-night celebration, have transcended basketball. He's not just a player, he's a global icon. But icons need leaders, and no one has guided this dynasty better than Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, a coach, a visionary, and the architect of one of basketball's greatest dynasties. Since taking over in 2014, Kerr has led the Warriors to 4 championships, revolutionizing the game with his emphasis on ball movement and unselfish play. Under Kerr, the Warriors have consistently ranked among the top in both offensive and defensive efficiency. This season is no different. Golden State's bench depth, led by Buddy Hield's 16.2 PG and DeAnthony Melton's defensive prowess, is a direct result of Kerr's rotational mastery. Even Kendrick Perkins, who's quick to criticize, would have to admit Kerr's adaptability has been key. From incorporating new talents to managing egos, Kerr has kept the Warriors not just competitive, but dominant. As Golden State eyes another title, it's Kerr's steady hand that will guide them through the chaos of an unpredictable season. And with the pieces falling into place, the only question left is how far can this team go? The Golden State Warriors, now 1-2-4, are more than a team, they're a movement. With Steph Curry chasing greatness, potential trades on the horizon, and Steve Kerr steering the ship, the Warriors are built to defy the odds. Kendrick Perkins, take a seat because this team isn't done making history.